It appeared to have been an offensive holding call. It'll be second down and about 20. So look for a long pass here. Your wide receivers for Channel Island, Chris Mesa and Mike King. Sean Young in motion. Medina rolls left, looks downfield. Incomplete. Pass intended for number 8, Sean Young.
Good coverage on the play by Hueneme, and that's what those penalties will do for you. They'll push you back to the point that you have to throw that ball out maybe a little sooner than you want to. Might have been a little push by 55.
Augustin Barroso, the intended receiver, I believe referred to Sean Young. It'll be 3rd and 20. A fake handoff play, fooled nobody. A gain of about 3, and they're going to have to punt. It's going to give Hueneme some decent field position.
I think the only person that was fooled was the cameraman on that, Jim. And, but Hueneme, a very solid first series of defensive downs for the Hueneme Vikings.
Jerry Williams will have a punting duties, and he gets off a good one. Taken at the 32-yard line by Carlos Cardenas, dropped at the 37. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line for Hueneme, about the 38-yard line actually for Hueneme. Both teams back and forth at about midfield. Tony Perez drops back, rolls right, looks downfield. Incomplete. Pass intended for Mike Roberson.
Roberson fell down on the play there, so there was no chance at all. But now both teams have had one series to feel the other team out, and now it'll be interesting to see if either team can move the ball on their second series of downs.
Angel Reyes comes into the game. That's number 3 for Hueneme. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the Hueneme 38-yard line. There's the handoff to Freddie Bradley, gains of about 5.
A nice run by Bradley, breaking through the right side there, and they have a 3rd and 5 left. 45 yards, 43 yards.
Actually about 6 yards to go. Call it a long 5.
All right, it's a long 5.
Tony Perez, 6'3", 185-pound senior. And it's to Bradley. He breaks 2 tackles, finally is dropped or tripped up at the 35-yard line, a gain of about 15 yards.
Beautifully executed play there, Jim. A trap off the right side, and
we'll take another look at it. A nice running play. He dodged at least 2 tackles, was finally brought down.
When you're rushing in a right side, and they fooled the Raiders defense in that one.
Rod Jones on the tackle. It's 1st and 10 at the 46-yard line, and it looks like we'll have penalties.
I think the offensive line jumped there.
Watch for a false. And it is a false start. No score in the first quarter, 7 minutes and 42 seconds remaining. KTV6 game of the week. It'll be 1st and 15 for Hueneme. Now, Damone Hicks, the junior for Hueneme, scheduled to start in the quarterbacking position for the Vikings. Apparently pulled at the last minute. There's a handoff for Freddie to make it Mel Nunnery. Plows for about 5-yard line. up to the line of scrimmage.
Well, I'll tell you, Jim, the Viking offensive line is doing quite a job on the Raiders defensive line. It was supposed to be the reverse, and they're moving the ball fairly well at this point.
They absolutely are. They seem to be in control of the game.
Yeah, they're moving them out pretty well, and they're mixing up the plays and the different kinds of runs off the right side and then up the middle pretty well.
It'll be 2nd and 9 for Hueneme. They're in Viking territory. Perez rolls right, completed to number 9. That's Mike Roberson for the first down.
Good play calling, just trying to mix it up and march down the field. They're just trying to pick them apart. Here you see Perez on the replay going back and hitting a little slant out, about 7-8 yards, and then Roberson picking up another 3 for the first down.
It looks like they're inches short of the first down. Now, Bob, you've got 4th and, well, actually, you've got 3rd and inches.
The 3rd and inches, this is the kind of play where you always say, well, maybe they'll take a shot and go for the long bomb.
And apparently they did get the first down. As the sticks move, you saw George Machado there. His 2nd year at Hueneme, playing in his 23rd game. In 1986, he was 1-9, and last year, in 1987, 8-3. Nice turnaround. Tied for first with Ventura.
I wish I could turn my bank account around like that.
That's 35-yard line. It looked like Nunnery in for about 3. So not much surprise as to who the key players are going to be in this game. Running-wise, you've got Freddie Bradley, Mel Nunnery for Hueneme.
Well, Tony Perez is surprised the quarterback and doing a good job moving the team at this point, and seems to roll out very well and keeping the Ravens off balance.
If they should get within field goal range, look for Eric Stewin, number 19, 6'1", 185-pound senior. 160 duty.
Looks like
we're going to have a penalty.
Play a game.
Boy, I'll tell you, I think you'd have to agree that for a coach like Machado, who plays with that type of intensity, he does not stand for these kind of penalties.
Well, there's no question about it. You know, a penalty in football is like that leadoff walk in baseball. It's the one thing the coach hates to see.
Yeah.
It'll stop a drive dead in its tracks.
And especially a penalty like this, which is obviously a mental error.
Come on now.
Handoff to Freddie Bradley, stop at the line of scrimmage. He got nowhere. He may have even lost it 1 or 2 yards. Closing in on 5.5 minutes left to play in the quarter. Still no score. It'll be 2nd and 14. 3rd and 14. Look for a pass play here. Carlos Cardenas put wide to the left. Perez looks left, bumps into Bradley. He finds number 9, Mike Roberson, who then has the ball jarred loose from him. And they rule it incomplete, apparently. Let's take a look at it.
I think they rule it complete.
Did they rule it complete?
Yeah,
Let's take a look at it again.
He was down and in the grasp.
Well, they are going to rule it complete.
I thought it was a quick whistle, Jim. I'm surprised they didn't rule it a fumble, because he did have it, but that ball popped out as soon as he was hit.
Yeah, you see that called a lot when it's the quarterback with the ball.
Right.
But you got a wide receiver.
Right. You don't
down.
see in the grasp that often with the wide receiver unless they're dragging a defender for 10 yards.
Yeah. So Hueneme comes out on top. We're going to take a look at it again. There's Perez having trouble getting the pass off. And apparently, I don't know.
I'll tell you, I don't think he was down by any means when that ball went out. It just squirted out as soon as he got hit.
Of course, being at the high school level, you see a lot of quick whistles to prevent injuries. But even on a play like that, I don't.
Well, at the high school level, a lot of the referees here are former game show hosts, and they have to make those snap decisions.
Yeah. George Machado. I think he thinks he definitely bought a break on that one. It'll be 4th and 4. I think you've got to go for it in this situation.
Well, they're a little far out for a field goal right now, but I'll tell you, the drives like this for Hueneme are going to help them towards the end of the game because, as you know, they have the players going both ways, and when they can keep the ball and control the possession of the ball, that's going to save the players from having to play defense early in the game. It's going to help them later on.
Yeah, I think what I refer to is you have to go for the first down. You're too far out of field goal range, and a punt is only going to wind you back out of the 20, and you're going to pick up a cut, what, 3 or 4 yards.
Unless you guys get that really bad punter on the team, the guy who can only kick it 15 yards.
Yeah, or that real good punter. Yeah. So they're going to go for it. Tony Perez drops back, rolls right, looks right. Pass complete to number 3. That's Angel Reyes, and they're going to get the first down. A nice play in a clutch situation. Let's take a look at it again. There you see Reyes in the tight end spot, and a nice grasp on a low pass.
Reyes just slanting out to the right about 7 or 8 yards and making sure he's got that ball. That's all they needed.
1st and 10 at the 23-yard line for Hueneme. It's a handoff to Bradley, and he stopped after a gain of about 2 yard lines on the 2-yard line. Check that. Jerry Williams on the tackle.
Lucio Vera made that tackle, and he read it very well. That's the same kind of play they've been using this whole drive, but he got him by the leg there and cut off potentially a long run.
Freddie Bradley showing some tremendous leg strength and plowing through the Channel Island front line. It'll be 2nd and 7. Just under 4 minutes to play in the first quarter, no score. Carlos Cardenas split wide to the left, and we have another penalty. It looks like another delay of game. Let's wait for the call.
Timeout.
Timeout.
I think Perez saw something he didn't like and called timeout. And
it is a delay game against the Vikings.
Well, they're not quite in sync right now. That's 2 delay games, and that's not going to make Coach Machado very happy, especially at this end of the field, in the middle of this drive. Like I said before, you know, this just makes it twice as hard.
Hueneme posing the first scoring threat of the game. At this point, it'll be 2nd and 12. Hueneme into Viking territory at the 25-yard line. Handoff to Mel Nunnery. Nunnery gain of about 2, brought down by a whole mess of light blue troops.
And with all the talk of John Johnson for the Raiders, this combination of Bradley and Nunnery seems to be more than offsetting the Raiders' running game.
Absolutely.
They've got a 2-pronged attack here. And so the Raiders have to concentrate on stopping each guy.
Absolutely. They have the right idea. I mean, Johnson, as great as he is, if they don't have the ball, can't do a whole lot. Perez rolls left, sacked for a major loss of about 7-yard line, for about 7 yards, brought down by number 81. That's Keith Matotia.
And Lucio Vera was the guy that broke in there and really grabbed him first.
We're going to take a look at it again.
There's Vera right there.
Vera and Matotia, both breaking through with good penetration. And once again, that's going to push Hueneme back. It'll be 4th and 18. Tony Perez is going to have to punt. High snap. He gets off a nice punt, though. That's going to go out of bounds at about the 7-yard line. So Hueneme with a real nice punt, and that's going to bring the Raiders back well into their own territory.
Well, when you can't score, that's the next best thing. Have the opponent starting out inside their 10-yard line, and That's what he had to do.
Boy, I know if you're Machado, you've got to be thinking, let's score early, because with both sides playing offense and defense, you can't really afford to go into the fourth quarter a close game.
That's right.
Fake handoff to Johnson.
And also, if they score early and capitalizing on the fact that the Raiders are already losing their first game of the season, they may gain a little psychological momentum here.
As we pass the 2-minute warning of the first quarter, Channel Island's going to have it at their own 14-yard line with about 6 to go. Second down. There's the handoff to number 2. That's Damone Hicks. Check that. That's Rod Jones on the carry. He's brought down at his own 22-yard line. That should be enough for the first down.
Nice carry by Jones. He fought off a couple of tackles and gained the first.
It'll be first and 10 for Channel Islands. With a minute and a half remaining. So Rod Jones goes right, gains about a 2 yards. Doug Brecky brings him down. Brecky, a large player in his third year, 6'2", 200 pounds.
Jim, in the first series of plays, the Raiders went to John Johnson twice, and now in the second series they went to Jones twice. So maybe they're trying not to put all their eggs in one basket, so to speak.
It appears that way. Play action, quick little pitch out to Johnson. Brecky, with the first attempted tackle, misses, finally knocked out of bounds by Mike Roberson. And he picked up about 5 yards. It's not going to be enough for the first down. It'll be third and about 2.
Once again, good pursuit by Hueneme, and that's where their speed comes in. If they keep pushing him to the outside, they'll be in good shape.
They'll need about 4 yards for the first down. Less than a minute to go. Handoff to number 27. That's Jerry Williams. And there's a flag on the play. He got the first down, but we'll see what the flag is. It was a late flag. It could be a personal foul of some sort. There was a personal foul against Hueneme. It's going to move the sticks. 35 seconds remaining in the first quarter. No score.
In the Raiders starting to move the ball now as expected, and their offensive line is moving the Hueneme Vikings a little more off the ball. So this could be an interesting sign here if they can move in and score and take control of this game.
Absolutely would turn around the momentum as you look at Medina setting. Pitch out to Jerry Williams. He rolls left. He's got the first down and then about 4 yards.
Big run for Jerry Williams. Really finding a big open hole.
Well, you've got to give Channel Islands some credit. They're certainly mixing it up. I think Hueneme has been keying in on Johnson the whole time.
I think they have, and you can't blame them. Coach Machado talked about that before the game. But when you have versatility, that's going to make that one guy all the more important.
And they'll take it at the 34-yard line. Jerry Williams again. Check that. John Johnson, he breaks 2 or 3 tackles. He's down to the 10. Knocked out of bounds at the 2-yard line. A major gain for John Johnson.
A great run by Johnson, and they just couldn't bring him down.
We're going to take another look at it. Fake handoff to Jerry Williams, and a key block on Carlos Cardenas, an in-your-face type block, finally brought down by Damone Hicks.
First quarter play. No score, but the Reyes at the Vikings ball.
Time runs out in the first quarter, no score. They'll take it. Channel Islands will take it at the Hueneme 2-yard line to start the second quarter. No score at the end of the first quarter. This is the KTV6 game of the week.
Humane Society Adoption Center.
Darling, I'll be perfect for a working couple.
Do they have kids? Oh, I love kids.
How about 2 watchdogs?
I'd like an older person. I'd even like the mailman.
Please tell him I do. Newspapers.
Go to your local Humane Society. Sweetheart, don't be hesitating, 'cause a new friend is waiting for you.
Howdy do.
Hi, we're the cast of Fame. We're here to ask you to take a second look at marijuana.
New studies show that pot damages your lungs a lot more than you think, especially if you're still growing. So anyone who tells you pot's harmless is wasting their breath, whether it's school, sports, or working out. You can't fly if you're high.
The American Lung Association.
Jane, have you flipped? You can't even hammer a tack without hitting your thumb.
Not anymore. I sent for this U.S. government book on car repairs. A step-by-step explanation makes repairs easy as following a recipe. And this free catalog lists nearly 1,000 government publications on almost any subject you can think of.
Honey, the kitchen sink's all stopped up.
Get this free catalog from the government printing office. Write new catalog, Superintendent of Documents, Washington, D.C., 20402.
Be part of today's Air Force team. Aim high, Air Force.
Welcome back to the second quarter along with Bob Kelton. I'm Jimmy Barron. We have unfortunately missed the first play of the series. Channel Islands, it's 2nd and goal at about the 2-yard line. John Johnson plows through, brought down by Doug Brecky. Actually a loss of about 3 yards. Mel Nunnery also in on the tackle. It'll be 3rd and about 3.
Nice anticipation by the Viking defense to get over there and bring Johnson down.
I think in a situation like this, they're not looking for any tricks. They're just looking for some power running.
That's right, Jim. And of course, as we've seen on that last drive, there's 3 guys who could do the power running for Channel Islands.
Medina to Jerry Williams, fumble, and it appears like it's going to be a Viking recovery. Jerry Williams couldn't quite find the handle on it, and he is not pleased with himself. Number 77, Manny Perez on the recovery. Let's take a look at it again.
Here you see the play, and
it just slipped right out of
right out of Williams' hands, and he was met head on there by Perez, and the ball just popped out. A big break for the Vikings.
1st and 10. And a handoff to Freddie Bradley. No gain on the play. Or if anything, a gain of about 2 yards.
Now that stop in there could really turn this around after the drive that Channel Islands has, but the Vikings have to be careful not to be conservative now and get trapped down in here and lose that field position. So they want to move the ball out a little bit. at least to get into an area where they could punt it out and have some decent field position on defense.
Look for some passing here. As you look at Coach Joel Gershon.
Well, you would have looked for some passing, but right now they're just playing it fairly safe, and now on third down, you think they almost have to pass.
Now, Bob, I don't understand why you wouldn't go to a pass play on that particular play.
Well, if you were in the NFL, you would have. But all high school coaches don't think like NFL coaches.
You've got to get the ball out of there. Hueneme now with a 3rd and 8 situation at their own 6-yard line. And Perez is sacked. And it's going to be 4th.
I think Perez pulled out a little early on the snap. He was going back for a pass, and he just pulled out early and lost that ball, and that's what happened.
Good penetration.
A little eager on that one.
Tony Perez, many duties. He's deep in his own end zone. He's going to have to kick the ball. That's number 5. Mike King on the reception at the Channel Islands 34-yard line.
An excellent play by Perez after that snap to save a safety for Hueneme. Just managing to catch that ball that almost was over his head. And that's the danger in this area of the field. He was lucky to get it off, but now Channel Islands has terrific field position at the 34.
8:35 remaining to play in the half. Medina rolls left, looks downfield. He finds Chris Mesa. Mesa brought down by Damone Hicks. Nice game.
Mesa wide open on that play, and it looked like a running play, and I think they fooled the Vikings. Now, see, that's what this running game is going to do, to open that up for the passing game.
As we look at it again, he was nailed. Yeah. Also, credit Mel Nunnery, our assist on the tackle. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Little pitch out to Johnson. Johnson leapfrogging over a couple of players for a nice gain of about 7. As we look at it again, good blocking.
Nice mix of play calling by Joel Gershon after that last drive, going to a pass play and then going back to Johnson. They're mixing them up really well and moving the ball down very nicely.
Chris Mesa split wide to the left. Jerry Williams, ball carrier, touchdown. And it seems to be the Day of Atonement for Jerry Williams after a fumble on the 2-yard line, a nice weaving pattern, and he goes in for the first score of the game. We'll take another look at it.
It could be the Day of Atonement for the Channel Islands Raiders, Jim, because they are playing very well and moving the ball almost at will here.
As we take another look at it, he found a real nice hole, and there was nobody around.
Big hole, and there's that offensive line coming into play. They are just moving that ball downfield at will.
Jose Olmos with the kicking duties. The kick is up, and it's wide. So with 7:23 remaining, Channel Islands the first to draw blood in this crosstown rivalry. Raiders 6, Vikings nothing.
Well, like I said, Channel Islands, their huge offensive line seeming to really take control of this game, moving the Vikings off the ball, and I'll tell you, it's Johnson and Jerry Williams. In fact, you couldn't tell who was leading this conference in rushing. Both of them look awesome.
Jerry Williams getting a lot of action today. Mike Contreras will have the kicking duties for Channel Islands. And the ball is out of bounds at the 22-yard line. Nobody laid a hand on it. Closest player, Damone Hicks. And there appear to be flags on the play.
Jim, I think one of the big mistakes Hueneme made after recovering that fumble after the first Channel Islands drive was playing conservative and not getting that ball out of there. You see a lot of NFL teams doing the same thing. When you get a break like that, which can turn the momentum around, you've got to get that ball out of there into some decent field position. Because if you let the other team come down and do it again, it's like they punched you in the face twice.
Yeah. Well, there seemed to have been false illegal motion on the part of the offense. They're going to be driven back 5 yards. Channel Island re-kicking the ball at their own 35. Illegal procedure call. Contreras once again. Freddie Bradley deep. It'll be fielded by Damone Hicks. Damone Hicks looking for some running room. He's brought down at the 34-yard line. Number 60, that's Jason Rourke on the tackle. Damone Hicks also is your quarterback for Hueneme.
It's only a 6-0 game, and Hueneme has to get back what they did early in the game on their second possession, which is just move the ball and pick the defense apart with a mixture of running and passing plays.
First and 10 from the 34. Perez. Freddie Bradley. Bradley dropped after a gain of about 3 by Jerry Williams.
Jerry Williams having an all-around good day so far, doing it, running the ball, and making the plays on defense. And he's almost a one-man gang at this point.
He is definitely spearheading Channel Island at this point.
You said spearheading. Was that an original term?
Carlos Cardenas split wide to the right. Freddie Bradley. Check that. Mel Nunnery brought down and a fumble, it appears, and a recovery by Channel Islands. We're going to take another look at it.
Yeah, go to the... You got the down lineman, you got 42.
There's the handoff to Nunnery. Jarred loose by Jerry Williams.
I think it was questionable as to whether he was down or not. I think he was, unlike that pass play a few minutes ago, his knee might have hit the ground before that ball squirted loose. I thought it might have been a good call.
Nonetheless, it is the Channel Island ball. Pitch out to Johnson. Johnson with room. Cuts in. Watch him go. In and out. And he may go all the way. Finally, game tackle. Mike Roberson.
Hey, Jim, I haven't seen a run like that since Elroy Crazy Legs Hirsch. He covered more territory going widthwise than straight down the field, but a great run by John Johnson. Terrific run.
You know, one of the things that makes Johnson great, and a lot of the local sports writers have said, is his ability to cut.
Well, you saw it right there. Several cuts, and the big cut. Here it is again. And you see
Doug
Johnson escaping 2 tackles there, and then cutting back, and then deciding to go for a jog. And they're bringing it back.
Well, apparently, while we were in the middle of the replay, there was a holding call on Channel Islands. And
Jim, the Vikings seem to have the most difficulty stopping the Raiders runners, especially Johnson on the outside swoops. If you notice, they're staying to the outside with Johnson.
We're taking another look at it. Boy, definitely a lot of east-west running on that play.
Some good misdirection there.
And another set of penalties. Raiders.
It's getting a little sloppy now, but I think the teams are a little tired after that last run.
Well, if not just Johnson. It'll be first and about 22 for Channel Island at their own 45-yard line. Jerry Williams up the middle, dragged and met by Tony Perez.
Nice tackle by Carl Brewer.
And Carl Brewer.
Once again, the Raiders just moving the ball on the ground as easily as can be.
Chris Mesa comes into the game. It'll be 2nd and 12 for Channel Island. They've got the ball just past the midfield point. Medina rolls right, looks downfield, and finds Sean Young. Right around the first down marker. We'll see if he got it. We'll take another look.
Medina and Sean Young with a nice cut into the sidelines and a nice reception.
And he did get the first down.
With the control that Channel Islands has at this point, the penalties don't seem to matter because they just march it right back up. So they're really in command here.
Hand off to Jerry Williams. Up the middle for another gain of about 5 and a flag on the play. We'll wait for the official word.
You know, Jim, the only thing that keeping the Vikings in this game at this point are the Channel Island Raiders' mistakes.
Absolutely.
It seems to be, instead of Channel Islands against Hueneme, Channel Islands against himself. This could easily be a 14 or 21-0 game at this point.
And it is a holding call against Channel Islands, and that's going to drive them back. It'll be 1st and 15 for the Raiders. Now rolling left is Medina. He looks downfield. Intended receiver is number 7, Chris Mesa. Couldn't hang on to the ball. Tony Perez met him.
A nice throw and a very catchable ball, but when you're hearing those footsteps behind you, those are the kind that are the toughest to hold on to.
They're going to take another look at it, the play action.
There you see Medina with a very nice shot, hitting in the midsection.
Oh, yeah, he was all over him. And once again, another penalty for Channel Island. And it's going to be another holding call. So the Channel Island offensive line getting a little sloppy, Bob.
That's right. And right now, the Vikings' best offense is the Channel Islands penalties.
It'll be at the 50-yard line. Chris Mesa downfield. Sean Young cuts in, and he's going to catch the reception for a nice gain, and it's going to put them within first down territory.
A beautiful pass play to Mike King. Mike King making that reception and just spreading out the field and basically doing what they have to do. You want to do the color? I'll do the play-by-play.
I'm telling you.
Jim, why don't you go down and tell those kids to stop stomping their feet, and I'll pick it up from here.
Go take care of them. We're going to take another look at the play, I believe. This is a beautiful play. Mike King.
Mike King showing some toughness there, getting hit head on and holding on to that ball.
Angel Reyes finally bringing him down, and we're going to have another delay of game.
There's more flags here than at the United Nations, Jim. I've never seen anything like it.
But I want to tell you.
Did I say that? I haven't seen this many penalties since the Philadelphia Flyers played the Boston Bruins in the '77 Stanley Cup semifinals.
Well, there's no question that the teams have been sloppy. And I guess you could say, well, you know, holding calls that are made against teams in the heat of battle are one thing, but when you've got 5 or 6 delay of game calls, That shouldn't happen.
That's right, and when you have to go 200...
And another penalty. And Vince Medina a little upset. What's going on?
You know, if Jack Benny were coaching Channel Islands, he'd be going, now cut that out at about this time. I mean, let's face it, Channel Islands has to move 200 yards to score because they move 100 and making 100 in penalties.
It was a false start this time.
Frustrating Joel Gershon.
It was a false start this time on the part of Channel Islands. It's going to march them back another 5 yards.
It's just one penalty after another, and this is also helping Hueneme because they're getting to rest in between these plays. So again, those kids that are playing offense are not having to work that hard right now.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Medina rolling to his right. A little pass to Johnson, a little dump off. He's tripped up by Doug Brecky. Just past the original line of scrimmage for a gain of about 3.
Well, I noticed on that play the Hueneme defensive backs dropped back real deep, and there was a lot of room underneath to go, and that's just what Channel Islands did. They can't give them that much room on those short passes. Not with Williams and Johnson there with all that running room.
Definitely a lot of threat. 2 minutes and 44 seconds to go. Mike King wide to the left. Down left. Medina looks. He finds his receiver at the 20-yard line. That's number 83, Rick Eckert. That's the first time we've seen him today. We'll take another look at it.
Well, Eckert's going to make a nice cut in and a very nice rollout, hiding the ball, Medina. And they just keep shuffling these kids in and out, and it's if it's not one guy, it's the next.
Credit Tony Perez with the original hit. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 21-yard line for Channel Islands, who's once again threatening. If they can stay out of penalties, they may get another score on this drive. Quick handoff to Johnson. Johnson cuts left, but he's brought down by Doug Brecky at the 18-yard line.
Real nice play by Doug Brecky, and that's not the first time they've been able to stop Johnson on one of those outside sweeps, which might be a good sign. I think it's about time for a Channel Islands penalty, don't you?
It'll be 2nd and 8, and we'll soon find out. Pitch out to Johnson. Johnson looking for some room, cannot find it, brought down by Brecky and Hicks at the 18-yard line, no gain.
Some very nice defensive work by Hueneme, keen on Johnson twice and 2 consecutive sweeps.
And Channel Island's going to call timeout at this point.
You know, Jim, we were saying earlier in the game about Hueneme tiring out because the player's going both ways, but at this point, I got to wonder if a guy like Johnson might be tiring out. He's carried the ball, what, about 20 times already, and running all over the field, and you know, we're near the end of the first half, but he could be getting a little winded.
Well, I think you definitely have to credit Coach Gershon, who's out on the field right now meeting with his team, for a lot of variation. We've seen Jerry Williams with the ball, of course, John Johnson, Mike King.
Yeah, he's mixed it up real well, and the passing game added to the running game, you know, keeping Hueneme completely off balance.
Joel Gershon playing in his 158th career game. Last year finished 1st place in the Marmonte League.
You know, I think perhaps the most underrated player on this Channel Islands team at this point tonight is Vince Medina, because he's really running the show down there. Not only with the passing, but the rollouts, hiding the ball, and the handoffs, and I think he's a real good quarterback. You don't hear enough about him.
3rd and 8 at the 18-yard line. Medina drops back, looking for a receiver, and he isn't going to find anybody except number 75, Robert Soto. But he manages to get it off anyway.
Well, if that wasn't in the grasp, I don't know what is.
Yeah, you know, I'll tell you, I don't understand that. He finally did find Jerry Williams. But I can't believe they don't call that in the grasp.
Yeah, well, you know,
Let's
maybe
take a look at
they
it.
don't. Yeah. Well, maybe they don't have it in the grasp in high school. Do you know that for a fact?
Oh, they have it. Now, I don't know. I've got to question that.
There's no question that he was in the grass.
Jerry Williams again looking for room, can't find it. Perez brings him down. They will be short. Mel Nunnery also on the tackle. I don't even know if it was so much. He looked like he was down altogether, not just in the grass.
No, I don't think he was down. No, he wasn't down, but he was in the grass for about 3 seconds, and it just makes me wonder whether they have an in-the-grass rule here. I don't think in the grass was always a rule in football.
It'll be first and goal at the 10-yard line. Pitch out to Johnson, looking for room. And he's knocked out of bounds finally. Gain of about 3 or 4 yards.
Jim, wasn't in the grass put in by the NFL to protect the quarterbacks a couple of years ago?
It was. I would have thought that the same rule would have applied at the high school level.
We'll get those fans to call in and give us the answer to this.
We'll try to find that out.
Another good pursuit of Johnson by the Hueneme defense, and that's keeping them out of there right now.
Second and goal at the 5. Play action. He rolls left, and he finds his receiver. Touchdown, number 5, Mike King. Mike King wide open. Nobody within miles of him in the end zone.
A wonderful fake by Medina. He's been doing that all day, hides the ball real well, and when you're faking the ball off to Johnson in a situation like that, some receiver is going to be open.
As you look at it again, nobody near. It looked like the intended defender was Angel Reyes, but make that Mike Roberson, but he was a day late and a dollar short.
You really can't blame the Hueneme defense. They've been on the field for a long time, and when you got to cover Johnson, you got to cover Williams, and you got a guy who can take the ball and roll out like Medina. There's not much you can do in that situation. Somebody's going to get open.
So 12-0 with less than a minute to go in the first half. Now you wonder at this point if they're going to go for the 1 or the 2 or the 2 extra points to try to make up for the missed field goal first time around.
Well, I think if the kicker comes out, they'll go for the 1. Otherwise, they'll go for the 2.
Well, Gershon has certainly been has had teams fooled by intended field goals and punts. I wouldn't put it past them.
You know, Jim, whatever happens now, the Hueneme kids are going to come back, and they're going to be back out on the field when they get the ball, and they're going to say, we're back out here again. They haven't had a chance to sit down, so this is where, again, that problem might come in.
And apparently they are going to go for the 2. And we're going to have another penalty.
Let's not be hasty.
Okay, maybe a premature whistle. Well, you know, rules are rules, but when the referees start running the game, it takes kind of the fun out of it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, an awful lot of penalties being called. Medina over the middle, finds his receiver in the end zone. That's number 8, Sean Young. They got the 2 points. A very nice catch by Sean Young. Very nice up the middle pass. 2 points. And it's 14-0 Channel Island.
Well, I think when they go into the locker room, Coach Machado is going to need some kind of hypnosis to get this team back on track.
Yeah, well, he's got his work cut out for him because definitely the momentum behind Channel Island at this point. And with a roster almost double that of Hueneme.
You know, Jim, it'd be better off if the Channel Island Raiders didn't have so many penalties, because that kept Hueneme on the field that much longer. They were there for twice as many plays. They could have scored the same amount of points and not had to do so much defensive work.
Mark Contreras kicking off for Channel Islands. Picked up by Damon Hicks. Brings it out to the 35-yard line. And he's brought down by number 61, or maybe make that number 81, Keith Matotia.
Well, the Vikings have fairly decent field position, and what they got to do is maintain their poise, Again, do what they did at the beginning, not go for the big plays, but try to work the ball downfield.
Hueneme will take it at their 35-yard line. Tony Perez looks downfield. He finds number 6. That's Carlos Cardenas, completed. A nice play. They'll pick up the first down.
That's exactly what they have to do, and there's only 30 seconds left, so they're going to have to do that a few more times.
Definitely going into their hurry-up offense. Medina to Nunnery. Make that Bradley. He's got a little bit of running room, and he's dropped at the 30-yard line. Freddie Bradley. Nice running play, 19 seconds to go.
Now, all of us before that play would have said he has to pass with 29 seconds left, and yet, you know, sometimes we're not always right, because that was an excellent run, and just a tackle away from breaking it for the distance.
Rod Jones, the initial defender, bringing him down. Channel Islands. There's a flag on the play. He is dumped. Perez is dumped by number 75, Manuel Perez.
Apparently it's going to be a motion flag in the backfield, which is going to really hurt the Vikings. And that's what it is.
Good call, Mr. Kelton.
Thank you so much. Well, I got to admit, I cheated a little because I saw the backfield judge throw the flag, so I knew that's what it had to be.
Yeah, that gave it away.
I learned that from John Madden.
Oh. Well, you got that $2 million Winnebago that you ride around.
No, I traded that in for a bus.
You did?
Yeah, I have my own bus, but I don't have one as good as Madden's. I have a school bus. He's got one of the Trailways. I have one of those yellow school buses. The good thing about it is that everybody stopped and the lights are flashing.
Penalty declined, as one might expect. But you like operating that little stop sign, that hand-operated stop sign.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite part. Big mirrors.
Carlos Cardenas split wide to the right. Perez looks downfield, finds him, a nice diving play, and another flag. That might have been a late hit. Well, 2 seconds in the first half. This is going to be an interesting call. It is a personal foul, a late hit against the Raiders. Hueneme within scoring range. Be interesting to see what they do from here. As the ball's marked off an additional 15 yards.
This is a tough call because they're certainly close enough for a field goal attempt, I would think. And yet they're close enough to just go for the whole thing.
I think you got to go for it all. I think at this point, Machado is the type of coach who wants to get within another touchdown range.
Well, at this point, I would think that it sort of depends on you know, the kicker and his range.
Well, Eric,
if they could get the short three, I think they'll take the short three.
Eric Sewin is the place kicker for Hueneme. Capacity house at Viking Field tonight. Of course, as we mentioned before, or as I've tried to explain, both teams use this field as their home field. But for the record's sake, Channel Island is the home team tonight. They will attempt a field goal, and it will be Eric Stewart.
About a 32-yarder. 30-yarder, rather.
The high snap and a fake. Damone Hicks, I don't think anything's going to happen here. It's up, it's a Hail Mary, and it appears to have been an interception in the end zone. Number 4, Donnie Mays, We'll wait for the word on the flag.
It was a high snap, and it was hard to tell whether it was a fake all the way or because of the snap, but I guess it looked like a fake.
It's hard to say. He may have had to abort the kick.
I'll tell you why, because
snap.
after he got the snap, he faked it, putting it down.
Well, the intended receiver was Carlos Cardenas, and another thorn in the side.
Well, of course, Hicks is a quarterback, too. So it makes sense for him to try the fake with him holding the ball. And it looks like it's going to be a touchback for an interception.
It was a penalty against Hueneme. They'll obviously decline it. And that's the end of the half. It's 14-0 Raiders. This is the KTV6 Game of the Week. We'll be back for the second half right after this.
chances you and I showed me. Maybe it was love, maybe we're meant to be. Maybe we're meant to be. Thank you. This next one's a cover, and it's I'm Yours. I'm sure you've all probably heard it, but I hope you like my version. When a young sun saw me in your bed, I felt it. I tried to push it, but you're so hot that I melted. I fell right through the cracks. Now I'm trying to get paid before the cool coming out. I'll be giving it my best. It's nice, gonna stop me, but divine intervention. I reckon it's getting my turn to win some love, some I won't hesitate no more.
One more time, that was my funny Valentine, Elizabeth Hernandez. Very lovely job once more again. We're going to do a little up-tempo, little rock fusion type with the wind. We're not going to run with the wind, but we're going to Firestar. This is a tune entitled Firestar, so we can get clamped down. Thank you very much. And that was Firestar. We're going to bring our next vocalist up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
time when I give my heart, it will be completely. Or I'll never give my heart. And the moment I can feel that you feel that way too is when I fall in love with you. When I give my heart, it will be completely. Or I'll never give my heart. And the moment I can feel that you feel that way too is when I fall in love with you. When I fall in love with you. Thank you.
Welcome back to the second half. Mel Nunnery kicking off. John Johnson back along with Mike King. It's going to be Johnson picking it up at his own 2-yard line. Out to the 10, the 20, the 15. Cuts. Finally brought down by Doug Brecky at his own 14 or 15-yard line. A run back of about 12 for John Johnson.
Jim, with Hueneme trailing Channel Islands 14-0. It'll be interesting to see what adjustments Coach George Machado made at halftime in order to slow down this Channel Islands offense, which I said earlier, has been basically moving at will.
Well, I got to believe one of the things he told them was that his team gave Channel Islands the game with all those delay of game penalties. And that they probably blew one or two good scoring opportunities. There's the handoff. No gain.
Well,
we'll see who the ball carrier was on that one.
As Coach Machado said before the game, he believes and he tells his kids that they could do anything they want. And so, therefore, the object is to stop Johnson and Williams on the ground game. That's their mission impossible right now.
And I think we Johnson with the ball at his 20, and he's dropped at the 20-yard line for a loss of about 3 yards.
Once again, good pursuit, cutting Johnson down on the sweep. And if they could do the same thing to Williams, they may be able to hold this Raider offense.
It's 12-0, Channel Islands. Mark Contreras is now QBing for Channel Islands. He rolls left, looks downfield, and he's running out of room. And he ran out of room. Finally brought down by Mil Nunnery.
Contreras had absolutely nothing downfield. Blanket coverage by the Hueneme Vikings and wisely holding on to the ball.
He was looking for Chris Mesa, and Mesa never seemed to open up.
You see, Hueneme has not been able to hold Channel Islands like that since the first series of the game, so maybe that's a good sign, but they'll have to do something offensively.
Jerry Williams hunting duties, and it's called for by number 5. That's, well, I'll tell you, I don't have number 5. Maybe, check, that was number 6. Carlos Cardenas called for the fair catch at his own 38-yard line.
Just as interesting will be to see what changes Coach Machado made with the offense, because they're going to have to get something going, whether the defense works or not.
Well, we didn't see as much passing as maybe we would have expected to. Of course, Tony Perez, generally the backup quarterback. Handoff of Freddie Bradley, met at the line of scrimmage. And he's brought down. Damone Hicks, the expected starting quarterback today, has not held the position yet. Why is that, Bob?
Why hasn't he been a quarterback?
That's right.
They've been saving him for those fake field goals towards the end of the half.
Absolutely. 2nd down and 9.
Good answer, Richard Dawson would say.
Perez looks downfield, and it was fielded, unfortunately, on a short hop by Carlos Cardenas.
Yeah, not a good throw by Perez, but he rushed it a little bit. Once again, they have to maintain their poise. This is a new half, and they have to just pretend it's nothing. I don't think they passed as much in the first half because their running game was actually doing pretty well. Freddie Bradley had some very nice runs. It's just the penalty set them back, and of course the defense was on the field most of the game.
Doug Brecky, who saw a lot of action last year as a receiver, has not seen that much thus far. As you look at Tony Perez. Drops back, rolls to the right, looks downfield. There's Doug Brecky on the short pass up the middle with a little room fumble. Picked up by Rod Jones. Rod Jones dropped at the 30-yard line, and a big fumble by Doug Brecky.
Tough break for Brecky and the Vikings, as it would have been a nice game.
We'll take another look at it.
Okay, you see the play, a nice catch, and just not able to hold on to that ball after being hit, and it's too bad because they had a little bit of a drive going.
Carlos Cardenas making the tackle as we take another angle. Just jarred loose. And these are the kind of breaks that you can't afford. John Johnson, a gain of about 2.
Well, they did the right thing, and if their defense holds, there's still plenty of time for the Vikings to continue doing that kind of play. I had the feeling that Tony Perez dropped back a little too far in that play. He seemed to drop back about 15, 18 yards for that pass. However, he just simply couldn't hold on to the ball.
Contreras, play action to Johnson with a lot of room on his left. Johnson breaks 2 or 3 tackles, finally knocked out by Mil Nunnery. Mike Roberson on the assist, and Mike Roberson was the first tackle that was missed. We'll see this one again.
Well, what they were having so much success on, which was stopping John Johnson on the outside sweep, this time there's a breakdown. He cuts back against the grain, moves out for a nice gain.
That's the Delaware wing tee. Coach Gershon has made a name for himself with.
I had that in a restaurant recently. Very nice steak.
And it's up the middle. That's Rod Jones. A nice gain for the first down.
The Vikings can ill afford to go down by 21 points at this point with 7:40 left in the third quarter, 7:41. It's a lot of ground to make up, especially with the problems they're having offensively.
Fake handoff, way downfield. He may have it. That's a touchdown. That's number 8, Sean Young. Sean Young on a nice touchdown reception.
A terrific throw by Mark Contreras. A beautiful throw, a beautiful play fake. Hiding the ball, and here you see in the replay a perfect spiral. And right there.
Angel Reyes not knowing quite what to do on that. Jose Almos will go for the extra point. It's up. And it's good. With 7 minutes and 21 seconds remaining in the third quarter, Channel Islands jumps out to a 21-0 lead, and this game is not far from being out of reach.
Well, Jim, it is clear that the Channel Islands Raiders did not want to go to an 0-2 record. They wanted revenge for last year. They came out determined. You could see it in the pregame warm-ups. They were doing a rap thing that I've never seen any football team do before. And they've been playing like it. And just from the opening whistle and the opening kickoff, they have seemed to have the psychological edge.
Well, they were definitely psyched up for this game. And after losing the heartbreaker they did to the Vikings last year, in the last minute, it was Cedric Hackett diving over the 1-yard line, to give Hueneme the win. They did not want to lose this game, and they're starting to pull out. Mark Contreras kicking off, and it'll go out at the 19-yard line. And another penalty flag goes.
You know, Jim, there are some games where you look at the two teams, and after a quarter or a half, you just see that one team is stronger, they're bigger, and they just are a little more dominant for whatever reason. And in this case, it's pretty clear that that's the case.
Well, I was talking with Coach George Machado yesterday, and he was mentioning how he enjoyed the fact that he only had about a 35-man roster, and that each play, he'd rather have fewer players who get more playing time than having a larger roster where everybody just plays a little bit. But I don't know. I think that when you're up against a team like Channel Islands, you need a lot of players and you need depth.
Well, that's true, but in this case, I'm not sure it matters, because unless you could stop, this is a versatile attack with 3 runners and 2 good quarterbacks, and you have 5 or 6 weapons that you have to stop.
A penalty on the first kickoff will drive Channel Islands back 5 yards. Freddie Bradley's going to pick it up at his own 25, out to the 30, the 35, the 40, breaks 1 or 2 tackles, dropped at the 45-yard line, met by Rod Jones. A nice game by Freddie Bradley.
And this is where Hueneme is going to have to do something. They're down 3 touchdowns. Half the third quarter's gone. They're in terrific field position.
As we look at it again, Freddie Bradley actually had a little bit of trouble picking it up at first. Made some nice cuts. And he was finally tripped up by Rod Jones. And there are flags all over the place. There's ambulances, flags, players down. Let's see, let's try to sort this out.
This is becoming like a soccer game in Brazil.
Okay, there's an illegal procedure call against Hueneme. It'll be 1st and 15. Hard to say if the ambulance is just there for precautionary measures or if there's actually something going on. We'll try to get a word on that. And the Channel Island players is injured. As Damone Hicks comes into the quarterback position, he rolls left, he finds he finds Mike Roberson downfield, completed. He picked up about 12 yards on the play.
A nice play, a nice throw by Damone Hicks, and here's a guy who we expected to see starting at quarterback, and he just played his first play of the game there. And if he can move the ball, we're going to all be wondering why didn't he start the game there.
It'll be 2nd and 3. At the 48-yard line. Hicks now rolls left, and he could not get the pass off due to the fact that he was wearing Mike Lopez on his back. Mike Lopez broke through and was all over Damone Hicks. And that'll drop him back for a loss.
He wasn't wearing them. Lopez is embroidered on Hicks's back right now.
Now, apparently they were going to call that an incomplete pass and not a sack. Apparently the refs feel that he got the pass off.
I didn't see it.
Well, there's no argument with that then. Play action. And once again, he dumps it off to Mel Nunnery. Nunnery tripped up by Jerry Williams at the 50-yard line, dropped at the 49. It's going to be another loss of about a yard. It'll be 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3, call it.
Good pursuit, and the Raiders are all over the field right now. And again, this is part of momentum and what happens when you get up 21-0. You play with reckless abandon, and everything's going right for them right now.
It appears Mel Nunnery having some trouble getting up. May have just had the wind knocked out of him. I'm starting to notice some holes in the Hueneme front line. Seems to be a lot of penetration by Channel Islands.
Yeah, like I said, they're getting to them all over the field right now, and they're pretty much doing anything they want defensively as well as offensively.
See if we can see what happened to Nunnery. Well, it appears he has an ankle problem. Nunnery has been nursing a sore ankle, and at this point, it remains to be seen if he's going to remain in the game.
And of course, they can ill afford to lose him or any key player at this point, and they have a long way to go here.
We're going to cut away for an injury timeout with 6 minutes and 7 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter. It is Channel Islands 21, Hueneme nothing.
Here we go. Super. All right. Hi, I'm Gary Carter of the New York Mets, and as a former Little Leaguer, I know the benefits of participating in Little League Baseball. Kids not only learn the skills of the game, they also learn valuable lessons in teamwork and sportsmanship. But most of all, they have a lot of fun. Shouldn't your children have the same opportunity I did? Little League Baseball is a great American tradition. Make it a part of your community. All right, guys, let's go.
Maybe someone's trying to tell you something.
Welcome back to the 2nd half, along with former Syracuse Orangemen wide receiver Bob Kelton. I'm Jimmy Barron. Apparently Mel Nunnery, nothing more than a leg cramp. It is 4th and 3. At the 48-yard line, Damone Hicks drops back. He looks downfield, cannot find Angel Reyes. Actually, he found him. Reyes was pretty well covered, and the pass was overthrown.
A tough play. He's moving out on a slant out to the left, and Hicks is on the run, throwing against the grain, and, you know, it wasn't even close.
It's contagious. I got it.
Well, once again, I think you'd have to attribute the key play in this half to the fumble by Doug Brecky.
Definitely a key play, being that Channel Island came back and scored a touchdown right after that.
And once again shifted momentum.
That's right. And you know, when you're down 14-0, that's a killer right there.
Yeah, the difference between 14-7 and 21-0 is vast.
Right.
Contreras. About a 3 or 4 in the play. Here that Rod Jones was carried on the play. Jones.
Rod Jones holding his wrist there. Apparently landed on
it. It'll be 2nd and 6. Sean Young split wide to the right.
Wind him up!
Contreras to Johnson. Johnson looking for room, can't find it. Tripped up by Brecky with a loss of about 2-yard line. A loss of about 2. It'll be 3rd down and 8.
And you got to give Joel Gershon credit. Here he is sailing along, winning 14-0 after a half. Vincent Medina controlling the game. He changes quarterbacks. He brings in Contreras, and the guy throws a 35-yard touchdown pass. He looks every bit as good.
Well, he obviously feels he has some breathing room at this point. Give them all a chance to play. They're going to some more pass plays. As Contreras running out of room, he's going to take it himself. He's got the 1st down and then about 5 yards as he's dropped at the 36-yard line. Let's take another look at it.
Hardly seems fair at this point. This team has 2 starting quarterbacks and 3 starting fullbacks. You see Contreras faking the pass and finding running room along the right side and bringing it down for a nice game. Once again, the versatility of Channel Island showing.
Handoff to Johnson. Johnson cannot find anything. He's brought down by Robert Soto. Gain of about 2 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Channel Island with it in Hueneme territory. 38-yard line.
And as this game creeps along, as they always say, the enemy will eventually become the clock because there's only 4 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Hueneme does not even have the ball, and Channel Island's marching again towards the goal line.
They're going to need some forced turnovers. Pitch out to Johnson, around to his right, a gain of about 3 yards. We talked briefly about hypnotism earlier in the pregame show. George Machado has been known to use hypnosis on his players with some proven effect. Last year, Cedric Hackett, who had fumbled about 4 or 5 times within the first 3 or 4 games of the season, was sent to the hypnotist and fumbled once in the entire remaining season. So it'll be interesting to see what the hypnotist does this time.
That's right, but hypnotism is not going to work against a 21-point deficit.
That's very true.
Unless you could hypnotize a scoreboard operator to put 22 points on the board.
As Channel Islands is going to get the 1st down.
Nunnery coming back into the game on defense, Jim.
And Jerry Williams now in the game for Channel Islands. So Nunnery may be just a cramp victim.
Jerry Williams has not carried the ball this half yet. You know, again, you look at the first half and you almost have to laugh that he hasn't even been in the picture.
Mike King to the left. Contreras looks downfield, looking for King, overthrown.
Well, here's the difference. It shows you the strength of Channel Islands. Many high school teams at this point being up. Here's the replay. You know, another nice throw by Contreras. He throws the ball hard. A nice spiral. I don't think he's thrown a poor pass yet.
Well, Channel Islands, we've talked about their offensive line, and it's certainly been doing the job. Jerry Williams up the middle again, down at about the 14-yard line. And their offensive line has certainly done the job because you have not seen a lot of penetration by Hueneme. You've got your offensive line consisting of Rob Hansen, Larry Pearson, Phil Correa, Jose Montelongo, Russ Edwards, Augustin Barroso.
Not a sack yet by Hueneme.
The unsung heroes, and a good point. No sacks as of yet. Contreras to Williams up the middle again, and he's got room. Touchdown!
Well, I just said that Jerry Williams did not carry the ball in the second carry of this half. He goes in virtually untouched for the score.
Well, it was just your basic running play, which he seemed to have found room. As we take another look at it, quick handoff. Nobody could seem to tackle him. A couple of players had shots. And let's look at it again.
Your basic off-tackle cutback and going in freely.
Almost will go for the extra point. It's up, and it's good. And we've got a blowout.
Well, Jim, across the other side of the field, I see a fat lady starting to go me, 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 me.
I think that means she's looking at you.
I hope not. 28 to nothing.
28 to nothing, Channel Islands. Things are awfully quiet on this side of the field.
I think they really did want revenge. You know, I was just going to say a few seconds ago, it's 21-0, and they're throwing passes.
Come on, move up!
You know, going for more points, and shows the versatility. I think most high school teams would be just running the ball at this point. But it's only the third quarter, so why not?
Contreras will once again kick off. Damone Hicks back for Hueneme to the 20, the 25, the 30, the 35. And he's brought down at the 35-yard line by number 60, Jason Rourke. A nice run back by Hicks. And we've seen a lot of nice run backs by Hueneme, and they've been getting themselves in good field position.
Several times been a tackle away from breaking it for the score. But once again, despite their perhaps more overall team speed than the Raiders have just been in the right place at the right time and with good pursuit.
As you look at the play again, it's 1st and 10 for Hueneme. Freddie Bradley, it looked like. Check that Mel Nunnery out to the 40-yard line, brought down. And Nunnery once again getting up very slowly. And he's in some pain. Interesting enough how last year his brother David Nunnery also had the same problem frequently with leg cramps at the end of the game.
It makes you wonder whether maybe perhaps he should just play offense or defense, and probably offense, and not both ways. Especially right after that leg cramp a few minutes ago.
Angel Reyes on the left side. Damone Hicks rolls left, pitches out, and he was covered completely by Wade Edwards. That's the first time we've seen him, and I think he was just feeling the pressure.
Well, you know, a real tough play. He's running against the grain, throwing away from himself on the run with the guy slanting out, pressure, and he just throws the ball into the ground. A tough play to be calling when you're down 28 points.
I'm not so sure he had anybody downfield who was eligible, not eligible, but who could have gotten to it. With 1 minute and 8 seconds left to play in the third quarter, it's 3rd and 7. Hicks drops, and he may take it himself. And unfortunately, Stan Palin, that's the first we've seen Palin. And do not adjust your set. He is 5'11", 260 pounds. There's nothing wrong with your horizontal hold. That is a big, big youngster.
Right, and doing a little bit of Mark Gastineau there.
Yeah, that's right.
I'd like to see the pros having influence on high school kids.
Uh-huh. Hicks is going to also punt. He gets the punt off. And it's a fumble. Let's see who's recovered. Yeah, it's picked up. I believe that was Mike King who fumbled and recovered. Let's take a look at it. It may have been Donnie Mays. Apparently, Donnie Mays ended up with the ball. We'll see it again.
That would have been the break that they needed. And unfortunate for Hueneme not being able to recover this.
Yeah, it was King who fumbled, and Mays recovered.
You know, Jim, at this point in the game, all you can think is that 28-0, and you think there's actually another quarter left.
Could be a very long 12 minutes for Hueneme. John Johnson cuts back, another beautiful cutback. Finally caught up by Brecky. There are penalties. Boy, the ability to cut by Johnson is really incredible.
Well, he certainly has showed signs of why he's gained the yardage he's gained, and a very versatile player.
At the end of the third quarter, it's 28-0 Raiders over the Vikings. And we'll be back with the final quarter for tonight's game right after this.
There have been many changes in the world since the first copy of my almanac came off the press. Our country has grown, our government has grown, but most importantly, our knowledge has grown. It's hard to keep abreast of so many new ideas and discoveries, but one way is by reading books sold by the U.S. government. This new catalog contains nearly 1,000 titles on any conceivable subject. If you'd like a copy, write New Catalog, Superintendent of Documents, Washington, D.C., 20402.
Now, you may think you're looking at the same old Robert Klein, but this is the new improved Robert Klein. I gave up smoking, and I am a new man. Now, don't ask me to take a deep breath. My doctor did, and I vacuumed up half his office. Seriously, when you smoke, every little can damage your lungs. That's why I stopped. Like the American Lung Association says, take care of your lungs. They're only human. You glad I gave up smoking, fellas? They're glad.
The American Lung Association, the Christmas seal people.
Welcome back to Viking Field. Along with Bob Kelton, I'm Jimmy Barron. We're ready to start the fourth quarter of what could be called a blowout at this point. 28-0. Channel Islands. Machado still yelling words of encouragement to his players, but I think he knows it's time to start thinking about next week.
Well, it looks that way.
Cover three, watch sweep.
Down 4 touchdowns. They've really been able to move the ball in 3 quarters. Try to figure out how they're going to score 5 touchdowns.
Yeah. Machado, former player himself. Out of the I formation. Johnson. Johnson met by Brecky. No gain. Nice play by Doug Brecky.
Well, Brecky's been all over the field on defense, making all the big plays, and if they had a few more Breckys out there, perhaps there wouldn't be 28 points on the board.
You mentioned the speed of John Johnson at the end of the third quarter.
Well, they're switching ends of the field here.
Apparently they did not switch ends of the field at the end of the first
Well, I think
quarter.
this goes back to what you said about the referees controlling the game, Jim, and maybe you knew something we didn't know.
Well, I've been going to that hypnotist.
Oh, I see.
You know.
The same hypnotist, huh?
Absolutely. Our director, Bob Cowie, has me hypnotized. He is the best director in the world. Nobody does a better job than he does. He is the best director.
Didn't you tell me that last week about that other director? Chet 40?
Right. It'll be second and about 15. Contreras looks downfield. He sees Chris Mesa. Mesa can't hang on to it.
Interesting, Jim, how fourth quarter, here's a replay. Contreras again, a nice throw, and just about in the grasp, but a tough catch. And interesting how Channel Islands continues to go to the air with the big 4-touchdown lead. And I guess they want to prove who's the best right now at this time. I mean, not that they haven't proven it, but they're not letting up.
Now, this is definitely a situation that you can experiment with. Fake handoff and a short pass out. That's number 83. That's Rick Eckert. Eckert met downfield by a slew of white jerseys at the 42-yard line. A nice gain on the play.
Yes, a nice gain, a nice throw by Contreras, and boy, he makes you forget about Vince Medina, who did such a good job in the first half. But here's the replay on this. Another play fake, and the play fakes have been doing Hueneme in all night. Wouldn't you agree, Jim? I mean, every play fake they don't have a clue.
They have been excellent. Contreras handing it off to Rod Jones. Rod Jones, gain of about 5 yards. I got to believe that one of the reasons you're seeing such an air attack at this point is going back to what we talked to Coach Gershon about, in that they like to see a lot of passing, and at this point in the game, you can afford to pass the ball. A turnover's not going to hurt them.
Well, I was just going to say that I would continue doing this if I were him too, because this is good practice.
Absolutely.
You know, why not practice the passing game? Which in high school football is probably the most difficult part of the game.
Play action, it goes to Johnson. Johnson brought down about a yard past the line of scrimmage for a gain of about 1.
I'd like to see how many yards Johnson has tonight. Maybe our statistician, that girl sitting next to you, could come up with it. But I wonder if he's got over 100. I guess she doesn't have it.
And it'll be 3rd down and 4. Make it 3. Mike King split wide. Pitch out to Johnson. Johnson, he'll have the first down and some, knocked out at the 36-yard line. And it'll give the Raiders their first down. First and 10. 10 minutes and 5 seconds remaining to play in the game. And Channel Islands is going to call a timeout. Apparently some type of mix-up in the huddle.
Jim, I'd like to announce, I've been asked to announce that the quarterback club for the parents of the varsity and junior varsity players of Hueneme High will be held Tuesday at 8 p.m. in the infamous Teachers Lounge at Hueneme High.
The lounge?
The lounge.
In the
where
lounge?
Springsteen appeared last March.
He did, didn't he?
Yeah. Springsteen was at the Teachers Lounge at Hueneme High. So Tuesday at 8 p.m. the quarterback club for the parents. And, of course, we'll have all the famous quarterbacks there. Unitas, Starr, Tittle. Not John Unitas, Bart Starr and Wyatt Tittle, but Bill Unitas, Phil Starr, and Ed Tittle. They own some used car dealerships around here. It's Tuesday, 8 p.m.
Be there or be square. Quarterback club.
Quarterback club.
Good thing we got that in.
Do you remember that club?
Mine expired. Back dues. I owe back dues.
You have your badge, though, and your ID. Okay.
I am card carrying. As we resume play, you'll be happy to know. Out of the I formation. Contreras looks wide to the right. He's got Mike King, but Mike King also can't hold on to it. I must say that was a beautiful pass. Unfortunately, King was pretty well covered by Angel Reyes.
A nice pass by Contreras. See if we have this replay coming up. But here it is.
Just a slant pattern by King, and he hit him right on the numbers.
He's been so accurate all night. You know, look, he couldn't be throwing the ball any better. Here's another angle on it, and see, King had his man beat. Had to reach back over his shoulder a little bit.
Looked like it hit right off his shoulder pad. Second down. That's Jerry Williams. Williams is going to go all the way to the 20, the 10, the 5, touchdown! Touchdown, Jerry Williams. A 38-yard run for Channel Islands. His second touchdown of the night.
And Jerry Williams just busting through there. Great run. And here you see him cut back, break a tackle, and he's on his way.
I think the Hueneme team at this point is definitely fatigued. The PAT attempt is going to be a little bit short. It looked like a not a bad snap, but it looked like a bad hold.
I'll tell you what, Jim. It's 9:50 left in a 34-0 game. I tell you what, I think that fatigue effect that started setting in on that early in the first quarter with that drive with all those penalties and that defense was on the field for about 8 minutes. Yeah,
Hueneme had a few chances to put numbers on the board first, and due to penalties, some turnovers, they managed to let the quarter slip away, 34-0.
You could talk about the fatigue, but they've just been overpowered tonight, and there's clearly a dominant team out there in Channel Islands, and I don't think anything would have made the difference in this game.
Who are we missing?
I was out at practice yesterday for Channel Islands, and would you believe Gershon actually was telling his team that they were the underdogs in tonight's game, and maybe they were with their loss last year, but it would be hard to prove at this point.
Yeah, they seem like anything but underdogs tonight.
The kickoff by Manuel Cherez. That was Doug Brooks seeing some action. Doug Brooks dumped at the 21-yard line. We'll take another look at it as Robert Soto comes out of the game. Boy, they really got downfield quickly.
It's just amazing he was able to hold on to the ball right there.
First and 10, 22-yard line. Hicks with the handoff to Doug Brooks again. Brooks over the top for a gain of about 1.5 yards, 2 yards. So Brooks seeing some action.
This would be a good chance for Hueneme to open their game up and to, try to, throw some of those passes, a few bombs, and see what he could do. Nothing to lose here.
I think we're going to start seeing a lot of secondary players or second-string players on both of the teams at this point. Flag on the play. Hicks rolls to the left. Cannot find his receiver. That was Angel Reyes, the intended receiver. A little overthrown.
See what the penalty is.
It'll be an illegal procedure call on the part of Hueneme.
Yeah, I think the wide receiver was, perhaps jumped the gun a little bit. It's just... That was not bad thrown ball, but it was just a little high, and just out of sync.
Penalty naturally declined. It'll be 3rd and 10, 3rd and 9 call. Hicks rolls left. Looking for number 3, Angel Reyes, on virtually an identical play.
It's the same play, the play they've been doing all this half, with Hicks rolling to his opposite side and passing away from himself, rolling to his left and passing with his right hand, and I don't know why they keep running that play, frankly. Maybe they just want to get it down for the next game. He has not once tried to go to the right side.
Tony Perez comes in for the punt. He'll be punting at about his own 15-yard line. He gets it off. And it'll be down at the 43-yard line by Carlos Cardenas. Channel Island will pick it up. It'll be 1st and 10 with 8 minutes and 37 seconds to go. from their own 44-yard line. A penalty on the play is a holding call against Channel Islands. And they'll take the play over.
What do you want?
You know, Jim, one thing about high school football, you can never tell who's losing by looking at the cheerleaders, because they're always happy.
Yeah, full right, 90, quick out and up.
They certainly are. Tom Jermack seeing some action. This is the first we've seen him, 5'10", 150-pound senior. It'll be 1st and 10 for Hueneme. Hicks, a long pass. And he was looking for Mike Roberson, who had the ball in his hands and could not hold on to it. Another flag, and that may be a defensive interference call.
Yeah, I'll tell you the truth. I thought it might have been offensive interference. If you look at the replay here.
Well, let's take a look. Well, it was a penalty against Channel Islands.
It might have been offensive interference.
Well, seeing as how Hueneme had the ball, yeah, it would be offensive. No, it was a defensive interference call, obviously. And let's see the call. It was interference on the part of Channel Islands, although it did look like it may have just been incidental.
Yeah, I didn't think there was much there at all. And at this point of the game.
Hicks rolling to the left, and once again looking for Roberson, who has the ball and can't hang on to it. So Hicks making a couple of very nice throws, and he couldn't quite hang on to it, as we listen a little bit to Coach Machado.
Go right, go in. Throw right, 44 low. Tell the money, keep it there.
Well, there was a penalty call that appeared to be another penalty, this time against Hueneme, and the ball is marked back 5 yards. It'll be 1st and 15 from their own 24-yard line, or check that, from their own 43-yard line. Hicks rolling to his right. He may just take it himself. He will, and he's going to get the first down, and he's off to the races. To the 20, the 15, the 10, touchdown, Damone Hicks.
Well, what a run, and it's about time as far as the Hueneme fans are concerned. Obviously, too little, too late, but, you know, that's going to do a little bit of good for the psyche, I think.
Absolutely. Sound the alarm and wake some of the fans here at Hueneme up. A sweep to the right, and Hicks just rolled in. We'll take another look at it.
Faking it, the trap up the middle, going wide, and just outrunning the entire Channel Islands team.
Eric Sewin in for the extra point. And it's good. Now, at first it seemed like it may have been an aborted play that he just turned into a touchdown, but the replay will clearly show that it was a quarterback sweep the entire way.
Yeah, he ran pretty high on the outside there. It looked like he was going the opposite direction, but his speed is what did it. He just beat the whole team. And he's been doing pretty well. It makes you wonder why he didn't start the game. Not that there would have been that much of a different outcome, but
no, I don't think it would have been. Tony Perez did an admirable job, and when you think about it, most of the turnovers were not really due to him.
Yeah, it's just that Hicks might have a little more speed. Perez apparently is probably a little better passer Looked more like a regular drop-back passer.
Apparently Michael Jackson, a season ticket holder.
I'm not going to touch that one.
As a little spark is ignited over Hueneme, but with 8 minutes and 3 seconds remaining to go in the game and a 34-7 score, it's going to be awfully tough.
Well, do we see an onside kick here? What do you think?
I think you've got not much of a choice.
You can always expect the unexpected in these games.
Well, I guess not. I don't know if I understand that.
I was going to predict it.
John Johnson at the 12, up to the 20, the 30, breaks to the 40, knocked out of bounds finally at the 40-yard line. It looked like Eric Sewin may have gotten a piece of him. A nice run back by John Johnson, who runs a John Johnson, who runs the 40 in 4.5.
You wonder how they could not go for the onside kick. It was utterly predictable, and but you could almost have predicted it wouldn't be that way.
I'm not going to steal anything.
Hicks to Jerry Williams. Williams up the middle, gain of about 8. Brought down at the 44-yard line. Jerry Williams having a magnificent game.
Yeah, Jerry Williams having a great game, and doesn't make it look like John Johnson's a one-man team by any means.
Not this year, at least. Of course, Williams off to a questionable start, fumbling the ball at the 2-yard line earlier on in the game, followed up with a nice touchdown run. Pitch out to Johnson. Around to the left, there's flags on the play. Johnson is still up. Finally dropped at midfield. Let's see what the flags were. And it will be a Channel Island penalty. And the ball be moved back to the 30. They'll be releasing those in about 7.5 minutes. It'll be 2nd and 15. I don't know that it's a matter of Hueneme not being good enough. I think it's just a matter of them being up against a team with a lot of depth, a lot more strength.
Yeah, most certainly.
And I think they're quite simply overpowered. The handoff, that's number 29. That's Renard Karn. That's the first time we've seen him, and in fact, it's the first time we've seen Kenji Kato in the quarterback position.
Yeah, once again, you're seeing even more versatility. I think you hit the nail right on the head. The depth and the strength and the versatility has made the Channel Islands Raiders the dominant team, and they're going to their 3rd-string quarterback. And it'll be interesting to see if he goes to the air at this point with 6:22 left.
5 yards to go. It's 3rd and 5. There's a penalty. Some type of illegal motion at the line. And it will be a false start. Where it'll be 3rd and 10. Jimmy Barron and Bob Kelton bringing you the KTV6 Game of the Week. We thank you for joining us. Hand off to Cato. Cato upfield. That's to the 37-yard line. Another flag on the play.
Again, it looks like it's in the backfield.
Excuse me. Let's check that. Let's check that. I'm sorry, that was Karn on the carry, not Cato.
My partner, Jim Barron, being corrected by the public address announcer here in the booth.
Thank you. Thank you. another penalty against Channel Island. Some nice runs by Renard Karn for naught.
Infamous naught.
3rd and long from the 25-yard line. Kenji Pato drops back. Intercepted by Jose Mendoza. Check that by... That was Jose Mendoza, who's seen the first piece of action today. And the Vikings are going to be within scoring range.
Big play, and, you know, if he could have gone all the way, 2 quick scores, not much time left, but you never know. Here's
Let's
the replay.
take another look at it. The intended receiver on the play was Alex Durazo. Ball underthrown. Mendoza on the spot.
Mendoza just stepping right in front and picking it off, and almost went all the way.
It'll be 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line for Hueneme. Let's go, man! Comes back into the game. And it's a fumble, but I think Hicks recovered.
Yeah, Hicks just took his eye off the ball for a second, and again, the time running down, so they have to score quickly here.
We want you to be with us next Saturday at 6 o'clock as we bring you REYES MESA. Coach John Reardon, the veteran, leading his team against Santa Clara. That's tomorrow, next Saturday at 6 o'clock. On KTV6. It's 2nd and 10. Hicks rolls to the right, looking downfield. Incomplete. The intended receiver, Carlos Cardenas, was surrounded by blue jerseys.
Yeah, blanket coverage by the Raiders, and you know, now with 2 more plays left in this drive, this virtually will wrap it up. If they don't get in here, if they do get in, well, it's still pretty impossible for them to come back at this point.
And they need a touchdown here. A field goal doesn't mean much. And in fact, a touchdown at this point is gonna still put them leaps and bounds away from a tie, but you never know. Hicks, and he does not have a prayer. Complete penetration brought down by number 99, Rob Jouret. And that's where we talked about before, about the penetration of the defensive line of...
Right, they're just running right through them, and then that's been the problem the whole game. And here's the replay on this. Jouret just blasting through there, and like I say, Hicks not even have time to look up.
Lucio Vera also with penetration. It'll be 4th down and long with less than 4 minutes to go. They need to go for the first down, which they apparently will. Once again, good coverage. Hicks looks downfield, and he finds Mike Roberson, who drops the ball.
No, he caught it.
He did caught the... Pardon me. It's a reception at the 3-yard line.
Well, if there's anything that you wouldn't expect there, this would just happen. Terrific throw by Hicks. Here's the replay.
Take another look at it.
Rolling to his right, almost sacked. On the run, lets it go. And right over the head of the defender. Here it is from another angle.
Tremendous coverage, and he felt a lot of pressure. Lucio Vera on his back. And I think we're going to see a field goal again. Make it the point after.
Jim, I think basically right now we have to see an onside kick. I don't think there's any question about that. But then there was, I could have said that last time too. But you know, moral victories usually don't mean anything. But in this case, for Hueneme to come back and score a couple of touchdowns like they have, this will help them out for next week. Because after all, this is only 1 game, it's only 1 loss. But they have been able to move the ball finally against this team.
It's also, you might note that this is not an interconference game. This game will not mean anything to their interconference record.
Right.
For either team. 34-14. And if anything, Hueneme making the score respectable.
Most definitely, and it's a little easier to take, and then you can put some points on the board.
Eric Suen, the kicker, and there's the onside kick. And it's going to be picked up by number 21, Alex Durazo, at the 42-yard line. Hueneme had a little trouble getting down the field following the kick.
Yep, got a nice bounce for Durazo, and you know, that's what did it. Those onside kicks have to be rolling along the ground, you know, because when they bounce up like that, they're going to be caught.
Kenji Kato. Fake to Karn. Karn breaks free. He's got some room. He may go all the way. He's finally brought down at the 18-yard line by number 7, Tony Perez.
Well, a great run by Renard Karn, just breaking out of there, and boy, how many different, here's a replay on this. Just cuts back and right through the hole.
Angel Reyes on a missed tackle.
And Perez finally bringing him down. How many different runners have we seen break open like that for the Raiders tonight? It's really incredible. Yeah, it's really incredible. You know, usually you see a guy make a long run. We see 4 or 5 guys breaking out for 20, 30 yarders.
We have. We've seen John Johnson. We've seen Jerry Williams. Renard Karn now. Capacity house, as we may have expected. The handoff was to Jorge Robles, it looked like. Check that, Jerry Williams. Jerry Williams.
Except for that one series in the first quarter, the execution by Channel Islands has been just about impeccable the entire game. Mixing it up and just doing everything right.
Once again to Karn. Karn with a little bit of room. He gets the first down. He may go further. He's knocked out of bounds within the 5-yard line. It's about the 2 or 3.
It might be a little early to compare Renard Karn to Jim Brown, but on that play, dragging defenders on his back.
I would say that's a bit premature.
A little premature, maybe after the next play. How about Gale Sayers?
Maybe after his knee injury. And it's Karn again. Karn, though, stopped right at the line of scrimmage by number 58. We do not have a number on 50. We do not have a name on 58. Steve Pion. Thank you. Number 58, Steve Pion. Channel Islands once again threatening to score. It's 2nd down, inches to go. Kenji Kato. The Karn stopped, and it doesn't look like he's going to get in. Doug Brecky wrapped around his ankles. You got to give Brecky a lot of credit. He's done a real good job. Despite the key fumble in the 2nd quarter, he's done a good job.
Yeah, and of course that fumble really had nothing that much to do. You know, everybody's entitled to one mistake. He's made about 10 unassisted tackles.
Absolutely.
And, been the key to their defense.
A couple of nice open field tackles too. It's 3rd and goal. Cato to Williams, in for the score. Touchdown, Channel Island. A
little dance there. Guess you're entitled when you score 3 touchdowns.
Jerry Williams having an outstanding game, securing his position as a starter.
Well, you got to admit that Renard Karn did all the work for him on that drive, getting him down to the 1-yard line.
Got him in there.
Yeah, right.
So as we speak, it is 40-14 with 1:15 to go in the game. Robles for the extra point is blocked.
I really like that "as we speak" little phrase there. You know, is that yours?
Yes.
As we speak, it's 40-14. I like that, as opposed to when we spoke last.
With 1:15 to go, it's Channel Island 40, Hueneme 14. The KTV 6 game of the week, Jerry Williams with 4 touchdowns, we've been told. And I would be interested to know what the team record is for touchdowns in one game.
I'd be interested to know what the total rushing yardage for this team is tonight. And maybe that girl, that statistician next to you.
Adds $500 cash back. Proof you'll...
Not like your days with Syracuse.
No, at least not weather-wise. You're going to lose, better to lose in 50-degree weather than 25-degree weather.
Absolutely. Manuel Shirez checking in at 5'11", 280 pounds.
I know Manuel well. You know, when I was at Syracuse, we had Larry...
He's gonna perform the duty. He'll roll downfield. That's Cardenas with the run back. Cardenas forced out of bounds at the 45-yard line.
Well, if nothing else, the special teams should be very happy because they've been running back those kicks. Hueneme special teams have done a whale of a job on those run backs, getting in good field position virtually every time. Here's the replay.
That's a very good point. Both teams, their special teams, have been very effective. Couple of missed tackles. Larry Basaldua. See Mike Roberson wide to the right. And it's Hicks to the 5-yard, to the 50-yard line, gain of about 4 or 5.
Well, mercifully, there's no 2-minute warning in high school football, and there's 50 seconds left in the game. I guess all these teams could do is look towards next week, and Hueneme at least they could feel they scored a couple of touchdowns.
2nd and 5, less than a minute to go. Hicks with the pitch out to Nunnery. Nunnery rolls around to the right. He's got the first down. He's dropped at the 45-yard line, forced out of bounds. But he did pick up the first. A nice run by Mel Nunnery, as we'll take another look at it. Finally brought down. Camarillo and Hueneme will meet next week. And Channel Islands will be at Oxnard. First and 10 at the 45-yard line for Hueneme. Hicks rolls to the left. Finds his receiver at the 40, number 24, Danny McMichael. And time is going to expire. And mercifully for Channel Islands, we're going to take another look at this final play. McMichael with a nice reception. He was brought down by number 28, Ronnie Rainante. And this ball game is in the books, 40-14.
Where's that trophy? Yeah, where's that trophy?
Raiders on the Vikings.
Where's our trophy?
And as you see the two teams congratulating each other. Bob Kelton and I will be down on the field for a little post-game show. We'll see if we can't get a hold of a couple of players, maybe a coach or two.
Jim, an impressive win for Channel Islands coming up after last week's loss.
And we'll be right back after this.
Okay, gentlemen, today we're deploying our jets to Tyndall Air Force Base for combat archer. We'll be making single ship takeoffs.
This is Air Force technology at work. The United States Air Force is a technology leader, offering qualified young men and women opportunities for excellent training and education. Your Air Force recruiter has all the facts. See him today. You could find yourself learning a skill that will last you a lifetime. Aim high, Air Force.
Well, we are definitely right in the middle of a frenzy, as it were. This is the first game of the Challenge Series. Channel Island Raiders with a score of 40-14 romp over the Hueneme Vikings. Jerry Williams, 140 yards, 4 touchdowns. Although, I must say, you must have, your heart must have been a little tremoring with a fumble at the 2-yard line, Jer.
Hey, I couldn't do that. It was Vince's fault, the quarterback's fault, man. It wasn't my fault.
It always is, but an incredible comeback because I believe the next touchdown was yours.
Yeah, it was. The offensive line did a great job making holes the whole night. And John Johnson right here, he was my lead blocker. He was kicking out on backers and everything and getting me to the outside.
Not to be outdone, John Johnson, who in his own right, closing in on an all-time rushing record. I know you want to get that record back in the family.
Yeah, I just want to win. I just want to win. I want to take it to CIF. Yo, we want this. Oxnard! We want Oxnard! We want Oxnard! Oh, we coming! Here we go, buddy!
Guys, you guys...
Listen up! Raiders on 3, Raiders on 3! 1, 2, 3, Raiders!
Guys, you guys seem to be able to run through them at will. Were you guys especially motivated after last year's loss?
Yeah, well, you know, it's like we lost them last year, and then they gave us this beautiful trophy here, so we said, hey, we'll take it. I'd like to thank the offensive line right here. This is one of them right here. This is the guard. Offensive line did a great job all night kicking ass.
And here we have the...
certainly did.
We have the trophy for the...
Can we get a shot? If we can get a shot of the trophy.
Wrap it up.
This has been a heck of a game. Kicking off the 1988 KTV6 Game of the Week season. A blowout victory by the Channel Island Raiders, 40-14. For Bob Kelton, I'm Jimmy Barron. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next Saturday, 6 o'clock.